Hi, welcome back to Mr. Silver's Math. Today we're going to focus on solving with the distributive property. So for the past week we've been solving equations, so now we're just at the point where we're going to add one more step to this, and in this case we're going to be adding the distributive property. So this warm-up right here is just to refresh your memory on what the distributive property is. You're not actually solving anything. It says simplify the following expressions. So we're just distributing in letter A a 10 and in letter B a 7. And these are not like terms. 30x plus 20. So after I distributed the 10, I get 30x. After I distribute the 10 to the 2, I get 20. These are not like terms. 30x and 20 are not like terms. This 30x term has a variable. The 20 does not. So they are not like terms. So let's see one of these in action. So example 1 says solve the following equation. Work is required. I have 4 times the quantity 3 plus 3x equals 108. So we are going to distribute that 4 first to everything inside the parentheses. So here I showed what I was doing. 4 times 3 gave me the 12. 4 times 3x gave me 12x. So now I'm at the equation 12 plus 12x equals 108. So now I'm solving for x. So I need to get rid of this. This is a positive 12. I want to subtract 12 from both sides. 12 minus 12 is 0. I'm left with 12x, which is what I wanted. On the right side, I have 108 minus 12, because what you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other side. So I subtracted 12. I got 96. Now I'm at the point where it says 12x equals 96. Well, I'm going to undo that multiplication, because remember 12x is really saying 12 times x. I'm going to undo that multiplication, and I'm going to divide by 12. In this case, I get x equals 8. Example 2 is just something we worked through in class, so I didn't have anything written down because it was dependent on what was said in class. But the point that I wanted to get at was that you need to distribute first. Okay, that's the way I'm going to teach it. There are other ways, but we're going to focus on this to begin with. So we want to distribute what's outside of those parentheses first. And then if you need to, collect like terms. So let's look at letter D, because that does both things that I just said, distributing and collecting like terms. So our directions say solve the following equations and make sure you show your work. So we've got 4 times the quantity of x plus 7 equals 51. So first we're going to distribute that 4 to everything inside the parentheses. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 7 is 28. We do not distribute the 4 to the second 7 we see in there, because it's not inside the parentheses. You're only distributing to what's inside of the parentheses. So once I distribute what's inside the parentheses are gone, and I'm left with 4x plus 28 plus 7 equals 51. So my parentheses are gone. I did the distribution. Now I'm going to see if there's any like terms, and that's what I highlighted. The 28 and the 7 are like terms. They're both constants, both numbers without variables. So I combine them, exactly what's printed. 28 plus 7 gives me 35. So now I'm at 4x plus 35 equals 51. I subtract 35 from both sides. I want to undo the addition, so I'm going to subtract. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Bring down the 4x. 51 minus 35 is 16. Once again, I'm still trying to solve for x. That's my goal. I'm solving for my variable. So in this case, to undo that multiplication, I am going to divide. So divide both sides by 4, and x is 4. Let's actually backtrack to letter C. So this one, there are no like terms when we work through it, but I want to discuss what happens towards the very end. So we distribute a negative 4. It's not saying 4, it's saying negative 4 times that quantity. So I'm doing negative 4 times 8. Sorry, negative 4 times 8x, which is negative 32x. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. If you're having trouble with negatives, use your calculator. -4 times -2 is +8. So I want to get this x term by itself. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And here's where I wanted to go through this one. 8 minus 8 is 0. Lots of students like to think they did something wrong or they just stop. It is okay to get 0, right? This canceled out. 8 minus 8 is 0. That is okay. On the right side, I'm left with -32x. You're thinking, well, how can I solve that? Just like we did in the last problem, this is multiplication. How do I undo multiplication? I divide. So I'm doing 0 divided by -32. I get 0. That's okay. 0 is a perfectly acceptable solution. Think about it. If someone says they have $0, you know exactly what that means, right? It still represents something. So make sure you distribute first. Collect like terms if you have them.